Hi everyone, welcome back to 𝒂𝒂 Divine Palace, and in this message I will discuss the wrath of God. The first scripture I will be reading is in Romans chapter 1 verse 18. The scripture states, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness." The second scripture is in Romans chapter 12 verse 19. The scripture states, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord." The wrath of God is basically once God sees that people are doing evil, unrighteous things, he gets very upset. Then two, this is when he decides to give the punishment to those people who are ungodly and are doing evil things in this world that disturbs the children of light that are trying to change the world to be a better place. So God sends out punishment to those who do evil in this world, and he gives you the punishment based off of how evil you did to stop the children of light. Being in the midst of God's wrath is no joke. Both the children of darkness and the children of God can undergo God's wrath. And you might be thinking, how can the children of God go through God's wrath? Because we're human, we make mistakes, we sin because of our flesh and our fleshly desires. But the difference is the children of God's wrath isn't as harsh and heavy as the children of darkness wrath, because one, the children of darkness are not on the same team, and two, they try to come up against the children of God. So that is the reason why they experience a harder effect of God's wrath than the children of God. The children of God serves a fair and just supremacy. God will even punish his own children, but not because he doesn't love them. No, one, he is trying to teach them a lesson, and two, so he can build up their character so they can be strong and fight this battle that we face spiritually. But also, the punishment that God gives out depends on the weight of your wrongdoings. So if you have a bunch of evil things that piling up, don't be surprised when you get hit with a bit of God's wrath. God is an almighty judge. He judges based off of his laws, his statutes, his commandments, and his judgments. So don't be upset when you get certain things dished out to you by God because of what you did. You can't be all doing bad and then expecting nothing to come in return. No, that's not how the universe works. So when God dishes out his wrath, you ain't gonna be prepared for it, because he not gonna dish it out when you expect it. He gonna dish it out when you least expect it. So I suggest that you change your ways and change your team at that, and do right by God. I ain't saying this to scare you all, but like I said in my other video, fear the Lord, because he ain't gonna play when you've been disobedient, you've been unrighteous, you've been rude, disrespectful, you don't want to listen to God, you want to go up against God, you want to go up against God's children. So I suggest you peep and you notice who God is, because God ain't the one to be played with. He's not. I'm telling you this now. He's not. God is the author and we are the characters in his story. So don't play, because he can erase, change, do whatever he feels like doing in his story, because he wrote it. Think of it like this. God wrote the book, but he gave us free will. So therefore, he wrote the book, he made the characters, but the characters can do whatever they feel like doing. But if something seems bothering to God, then he's gonna change, arrange, rearrange anything that he wrote in his story, which is us. We're a part of his story. We play factors in his story, and he's trying to reach a goal. And if there are people that's trying to stop God from reaching his goal, then you gonna get his wrath. Like I said in one of my other videos, how could you not want to be on a winning team? Because God's team never loses. So if you're against God's team, you're not going to win, because that means you're trying to go up against God. And going up against God, it don't matter how much authority, how much power, how much of anything you have on this earth. If you try to go up against God, I suggest you take several seats. Listen, we all got assignments and tasks given by God. God gives each and every one of us assignments and tasks, whether you are evil or whether you are good. But if you fall out of alignment with God's assignment or task, you're going to get his wrath. That's just what it's going to have to come down to, because he gave you something and you came up against him. And if you come up against God, you gonna catch his wrath. Also, God will allow some people to come up against you, but if God did not assign you to come up against somebody, then you is crossing your boundaries. You is crossing God. But if God allows you to come up against somebody and you drag it and you go overboard, you gonna catch God's wrath. The thing that I do not get is that, yes, both good and evil people receive God's wrath, but at the end of the day, if both people receives God's wrath, might as well be on God's team, because you won't suffer as much as when you're not. Because guess what? You're going against someone who created you. You're going against someone who will fight your battles for you. You're going against someone who loves you so dearly. You're going against someone who will never leave you nor forsake you. God is a man of his word. He will never tell you something and not go through with it, because he is mightier than humans and a supreme and superior being. Don't be blinded by the things of this world, because if they were so beneficial, then why are things suddenly falling apart? It is not what God approves. God doesn't want us to focus on the things of this world. He wants us to focus on him, because he made you. God is not a part of the mess occurring on earth. He is a part of heaven, which has peace, love, abundance, and wealth. God needs us to pay close attention to him in order to succeed in life happily. You're going against the grain once you follow the kingdom of darkness. Once you turn away from God, you are harming yourself, because you are withholding the blessings God has for you and his comfort when you are in a sad state. Satan ain't gonna give you closure when all hell breaks loose. He could care less. You're just his servant. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. God, on the other hand, is upright, righteous, powerful, and great. Nothing can beat that. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every time I post a new video.